is what you got.
Durag Diaries, yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Spurs of the moment. Yo, it's been too long, man. Welcome back, people. Checking in. Igor Tudor's first interview has dropped. Tudor, it is to do. Yeah, it's in the slogan above me. The man's name just aligns so well with the aims and the objectives of what Spurs are looking to do. And do you know what? First initial thoughts before we go into anything, really impressed. Really impressed. You know, when someone comes into a job like this where, you know, it's turmoil, there's so much outside stuff going on away from the football pitch, you need someone to come in who can just address the problems whilst also acknowledging some of the issues and acknowledging their role, that they know that, you know, where the focus needs to be. We're in a relegation fight. We've got to win points. And, you know, he said something that I love to hear. I don't know no manager. I don't know no person that ever plays for a draw. I only play to win. And that's what it's about. The man them are about to win. I play to win. I watch my team to win. So I had to take a couple weeks off. I don't watch my team to see us lose. Obviously, I don't. Look, I'm not saying I don't mind. It is part of being a fan, watching your team lose. Cool. But when you're going into games, predicting loss after loss after loss after loss, and I can't even see a win, bro. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? If we can't see wins, if a manager is setting us up and we know we're not going to win, that's not even a manager. What even is that? He's just a person. He's just a human, as Hooks would say. That would have been Frank's excuse when he leave. When he left, it probably would have been, I'm only human. What can I do? Could change the fucking tactics, bruv. But before we get into any of that stuff, man, let me come to the chat. Let me say what I got. Let me say what's good. We got too many people inside right now. All the regular degulars. And you know what? Yeah, shout out to the members that are still members, because I haven't been around. So anyone that's still a member is a real one. But we're back and we're better. And you know, yeah, keep in tune, because there's gonna be more and more content coming. Make sure you guys smash it. Let's see, I even forget to do this stuff now. That's how you know I'm not even a content creator myself. I can't even call myself a content creator anymore. I even forget to start the video and say like up the stream. Make sure you like the stream, people. It does a lot to help the algorithms, especially when someone like me has been taking so much time out. We need a little bit of a push, and we need your help and YouTube's help to get back into the algorithms. And, you know, all you have to do is smash a like to help do that. Keep commenting, doing all of that good stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, man, big up to Mr. Udang, my guy. Big up Jords. Big up to Ghosted as well. My guy, big up Jords. Today is Tudor. You could do it that way around or the other way. Big up to A1 Sav. It says money sleeve. It's been a while. The money sleeve is it's in the chamber. It's loaded. I'm ready for the weekend to drop a money sleeve. Yeah? Get me 3 points and you might see more than a money sleeve. We might have a whole fucking money rain dance, blood. Trust me. I need more than a money sleeve this weekend, but you have to go step by step. Baby steps. I went from not seeing my team win in 7 weeks. Maybe I'll take a draw. Maybe I'll just take a goal scored. Like, I don't even know where the expectations are at right now. It's too early in the week. I was thinking, should I do a match preview for this game? And then when I started to think about the game, I was like, I don't even know what to say. Don't even know what to say myself. But I will be doing a watch along for that game. Not on my channel. It's not going to be here, but I am going to be in the We Are Tottenham TV studios for that game. So I'm going to be live. You guys are going to be able to watch me. You are going to be able to see my reaction. I ain't done a watch along in so long, but we are going to be back with those. So make sure you guys look out for that one. And Sunday, yeah, man, We Are Tottenham TV. We will be there. We will be there. But I haven't known a manager playing for a draw. Not one. Well, Igor, that last guy, William Defoe lookalike, said we will 100% lose games. This manager, no, in fact, what he said, which was worse, Mr. Udang, was out of 60 games, maybe I play 12 perfect games. When he said that statement, I just knew it was never going to work out from there. You cannot come to a club like Tottenham, let alone a Liverpool, a Man United, teams that have higher standards than us. But you cannot come to a club like Tottenham and tell me that out of 60 games, 1 in 5, he said 12. So 1 in 5 of those games are going to be perfect. Huh? 1 in 5. So man's getting a 20% perfect ratio. 20% of those games across a season are top performances. Huh? Then he said you're going to have around 20 to 30, or I think he said 25 to 30 games where it's not so great, where it's a bit of both. It's not bad, but it's not so great. It's so-so. Listen. So you're having double the amount of middle games than perfect games. So your standards that you're setting is, okay, we strive to be perfect 20% of the times. And the 40% of it, 40%, or sorry, I should say 60% of the time, 60% of the time, we're going to be average. 60% of the time, we're going to be average. And then the other 20%, we're going to be poor. What? This manager was too stuck in the Brentford way of life. He was too stuck in the Brentwood way of life. Data. Talking about in this games, this is what's going to be perfect. This, doing up ratios like he's some fucking maths tutor. Like, I don't know where he's learned his football ambitions, but it definitely wasn't at a top club. Because if you was at a top club, if you'd even been around a top club, if you even played, and that's the problem with going for managers, and this isn't always the case, but managers that haven't played at the top level. Because if you've played at the top level, you have the mentality that Igor Tudor has. You have that mentality because he's played at the top level, played for Juventus in the pomp, one of the best ever Juventus teams. The Del Piero, Pirlo, Cannavaro, Paul Nedved. He played in a bad boy Juventus team. So he knows what it means. He knows where you need to perform. He knows the standard that's set to be a real winner. And that's one thing that Frank was missing so much. He was not a real winner. He wasn't someone who'd set the standard for the team that everything but 100% was not enough. Igor Tudor said it in his first interview, and I like a lot of the things that he said in his first interview. One of the things that he said also was about players running. Each player needs to run. Sorry, 2 seconds, people. It's half term, so you just got to give me 2 seconds. So busy. Sorry, people. That's just father duties. They cool. But one of the things that I really liked was about the running aspect. He spoke about how players, if the players were running, let's just say 105 kilometers, everybody in the team does 1 kilometer extra. You now go at 115. How much extra effort is that put in across the game? It's a team effort. It's all about everybody. And I spoke about this the other day, trying to be that 1% better. That's all you need to do is consistently try to be 1% better than you was before. And Igor Tudor was just making that point slightly with the running aspect that as a team, 10 kilometers extra, it looks a lot more across the game than one person just doing 1 kilometer extra. It's doing that unified team effort to make sure that we're putting in 100%. He said he doesn't accept man that ain't running. If you ain't physical in this day and age, because football is so physical, he did also, you know, acknowledge the technical aspect and how players need to have good technical quality. But in 2026 in the Premier League, running, physical, that side of the game is more important than anything. And if you can't keep up with the times, then you're just gonna fall behind. But look, I'm gonna get onto all of that stuff. My thoughts. I know I'm falling slightly behind the chat, as per usual. Typical Jords. The one thing that's never gonna change, despite any time off. Definitely gonna always be behind the chat. But let me catch up, and then you guys can ask some questions. If you do have any questions, feel free to throw it in the chat. Definitely will be catching up and answering any of those. But yeah. Big up to my guy TGTV, checking in every single time. Don't worry, I see you on all the channels in the comments whenever I'm live. Big up to my guy TG, man. Big up to Bango, who's still a member. We got a delinquent in the house. Man like Bango. Yo, hope you're good. Hope you're well. Now I'm glad Frank gave my team their 3 points, Jords. Super Mikel Carrick. Yeah, you got lucky, man. You got lucky. With Thomas Frank, I hope he was gone before that game. I needed him gone so we could have guaranteed a win against Man United. But I knew it. I'm not going to lie. I was going on channels. I was doing my usual, you know, brash. We ain't going to lose. We ain't lost against Man United in very long. Knowing that we was probably gonna lose, bro. Sometimes I be saying stuff. I know it. I be saying stuff. I didn't mean it. I knew we were gonna lose, bro. I told you, man. Well, since I've been with Frank for a long while, I just anticipate losing majority of the games that we were going into. Like I just couldn't see us getting a win out of it. Big up Jords and the chat. Big up to my guy Jay Spurs. A win in the NLD would be a movie. Man said a movie. It would be. I'm not gonna lie. Big up to my guy Yasser. He says big up Jords in the chat. Big up to my guy Alive Jords. Crash out. We'll be there. See, I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna duck out of this one. I was gonna be like, yo, if this was Frank, just know because I'd confirmed this like a month ago. Now this is what I'm not gonna see from guys, yeah, it's because I did confirm this a long time ago. I confirmed the date for this game, whether Frank was gonna be there or not. But I'm not gonna lie, if it was Wednesday today and I knew Frank was in management, definitely would have been. Yo, yeah, I've got an important thing to go to on Sunday. I can't miss it. You might have heard an excuse or two as to why I can't be there. You might have never seen that live crash because I would have been crashing out the moment I walked into the studio. I would have saw the lineup, been like, bro, why am I here with this guy? I hate this manager. But now I've got something to live for. I've got some energy. Tudor is to do, you know. Man is Tudor in this weekend. I'm gonna dare to do, fam. And yeah, head loss in 4K. It might be there. It might be true. It might not. Who knows? We're gonna have to see. We are definitely gonna have to see. It'll be entertaining nonetheless. The fucking anti-aura statements from Danish wet wipe geezer. Yeah, man. Bro, it's bare anti-aura statements from my man. Bare anti-aura statements. Yeah, I know that was a red flag for real, Mr. Udang. Definitely a red flag. 2 seconds. Thomas Frank is a Wasio. Yeah, he is. He is. A big fat one like that. Frank was just being honest. Do you know what? I get what you're doing, and you're gonna do that. Or maybe that was his level, or maybe that's Spurs' level. Which you can, banter on all you want. But let's be honest. A club that's competing in the Champions League doesn't expect to perform perfectly 20% of the times. That was just a loser mentality statement. And if he doesn't realize it now, and do you know what? Frank done so many things wrong. Frank went against the fan base early. Like Ange fought the fan base, but Ange fought the fan base at the end of his tenure. Like in his last couple months, last 4 or 5 months when he was doing stupidness. But he had the fan base on side for a long time of it. Frank never really had the fan base on side. The fan base never once sang his name. The fan base, he was already dissing us and dissing about how we were booing and how we were feeling 3 months into his tenure. He'd always gone wrong. He went wrong there, and he just wasn't captivating, just weren't engaging. He weren't someone who, when you watched his interview, you felt like, yeah, this is the man that leads us. This is someone that I want to run through a brick wall for. You never once felt that. Now, I'm not saying that we get that with Igor Tudor. We definitely had an element of that with Postecoglou because he spoke with conviction. Whether you believed him or not, he definitely believed in himself. And someone that believes in themselves is enough to make someone else believe in them. I know when I've thought Tottenham are winning, and I've said certain games, I've convinced other people because I've been so convinced we're going to win. I've managed to convince some of you guys we're going to win because it's that conviction I speak with. I speak like it's already done sometimes, and it's not. It's obviously just a prediction. But that's what you need your manager to speak like. I need my manager in the dressing room to speak with conviction, to get something out of these players, shout at these players, get deep into the roots of their soul, find out what is their drive. What way are we going to get that extra 10% out of them? How are you going to get them to run when they don't want to run? How are you going to get that out of him? I don't think he was good at that. I don't know if anybody watched his team talk. There've been like clips of his team talks come out, just horrorless. So guys, we're gonna, make sure you're doing well. Win your duels, second balls, direct. Need to see some more from you guys. Better on the ball, okay? Okay, guys? Yeah? So that's what we're gonna do today. Just make sure you win those balls. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Let's go, boys. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What are you even on about? What are you even doing? That's not something where you pump your team up. You need to be speaking to them like Mourinho does. He says, I want you guys to be cons. You guys are too many nice guys out here. Too many nice guys out here. You need to be cons. You need to go out there and take someone's leg. Go out there and kill someone today. This is you versus them. This is men against boys. This is for your family versus their family. If you don't win today, they're taking food off your plate. Are you going to have them take food off your plate? Are you going to have them take food from your kids' plate? That's the type of shit that you need to be saying to players before games. You need to be hyping them up like they're going into a death battle, fam. Like they're going into a match, a UFC or boxing match. That's how I would talk to my teams. I'm going to get them into the mentality that they're actually going into a fight. Get them into that adrenaline pump zone where it's just everything's autonomous, where they're just moving and their body's in the flow state. You need to get someone to that energy level. But Thomas Frank just couldn't do it, man. Thomas Frank just couldn't do it, innit? And I think in those cases, you either have it or you don't. Thomas Frank definitely don't have it, and he's never going to be able to coach a top-level club because you need that element, that mentality. Need to be able to shift players' mentality when they're struggling. And I think he can do the arm around shoulder. Oh, do you know what? You're great. You're a really good player. Whispering in your ears, tell you some sweet, nice things about yourself. He can do all of that. But when it comes to really getting that extra bit out of the players, Frank ain't got that, man. Frank ain't got that. That's about your level 2, to be fair. He didn't cap, see, and this is what I mean. I knew people were gonna come on saying rubbish like that. Morning, Durag. Big up to Chelsea King 879. Can I ask, do you believe, Deji, that you can win the Champions League? No. no. We'll just I'll just swiftly move on from there. Worst record as a top 6 manager ever, worse than Christian Stellini, and Stellini managed about 6 or 7 games, if even that. It was awful. He's the worst manager that I've seen at our club, hands down. And I said this from 3 months ago. I saw this. I'm not saying I saw this from the start, no. But when it started to go bad, I definitely said, I said, yo, this is enough. Sometimes you see it halfway. Sometimes you see it near the end. But I saw the light and way before the end of the tunnel. I saw the light. I saw a little bit and I was like, yo, yeah, this guy is not the one. This guy's not the one. Something spoke to me. The Lord, he guided me. Said, this ain't the one. Big up to my guy, Jun in the building, says, oh my God, that picture's wild. Jordan, that picture's wild, bro. Jords, opinions on Eddie Howe to Spurs potentially. Eddie Howe's a good manager. I do think Eddie Howe has, found his level with Newcastle, and I'm not saying Newcastle's the level below or above us. That's down to you guys to choose. What I'm saying is the ambition of Newcastle matches where Eddie Howe's at. I think he's consistently going to be floating up and down throughout that 5th, 6th, 7th, 4th. And, some seasons he's going to be good. Some seasons he's not going to be so good. I do think that he's a good manager. Good tactical adaptations. I know we said that about Frank, but one thing you see about Newcastle is they can take it to a team, but they can also sit back and defend against a team. This season haven't really been as good, and that's the problem for me. Is he struggles to maintain consistency across long periods. Last year was a really good one for them, but this season has been so up and down that there was one point a couple months ago where there was only 4 or 5 points ahead of Spurs, and that's really concerning considering our season at that point was, for me, done over. It was one of the worst. Already looked at, we were 13th and it was yo, this season's awful, whereas their season were oh, it's not so bad, we're still aiming for stuff, and they really wasn't that far ahead of us. So I think Eddie Howe suits Newcastle and he should stay there. If Newcastle aren't going to sack him and try and get someone better, then that's their level. I think he's a good manager for them, not for Spurs. He would come in. Oh, sorry guys, fucking yawning at this time's madness. It's nearly 11 o'clock. He will come into Spurs and not take us to the level that I want personally. I might take us a step forward, but we need 2 or 3 steps forward from here. So yeah, man. And he also wouldn't sidestep from Newcastle Tottenham because we're at similar levels. So it wouldn't really make sense. Let's go get the pasta Guardiola. Is that Enzo Maresca? Because I'd take Enzo. I'm not gonna lie. I would take Enzo. Away from that, Pochettino just looks likely, man. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm really underwhelmed with that. Big up my bro. I hear it, even though I wouldn't take out United. Plus, I don't think he'll leave Newcastle. Big up to my guy, Star Crew. Come on, man. You guys ain't a top club, though. I'm not trolling, just my opinion. Fair, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I wish you liked with Tudor. But I think the damage is done because Frank, and now you have an injury crisis, and Romero is suspended for Arsenal, so I don't know what your squad will be to face them. Yeah, we can go through that. Maybe tomorrow we'll probably go for a full match preview. Gonna try get should I do an Arsenal panel show? Or not an Arsenal panel show. Should I do a panel preview or review? What should I do? You guys tell me, what do you guys want to see? Do you want a panel preview? Should I do a 1v1? Should I just do a me and Hook show? Who do you guys want to see me preview the match with and review the match with? Maybe me versus Hooks and D, and we could do a classic old school one. Or maybe we could do 2. I can get me, J, D, and Hooks. Who do you guys want to see on the channel for that preview? Because I will say, for an Arsenal preview, we could do a good one. We could definitely delve into making this a really good one. And yeah, you guys know the type of. Don't start asking for no Robbie. I can't get Robbie from FTV. Can't get Troops. Me like Troops is cool. He's redirected me a couple times, but that's not my guy like that. As in, I can't just make a call and be like, yo, Troops, can you come on my channel? So let's be realistic with who you want man to get, but I can make a couple calls and we can pull a panel together if you guys want to see it, innit? To be honest, I believe that Spurs are a big club, but since Poch left, they have not run as a serious club, like Ange said in a way. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. We definitely haven't been run seriously over the last 5 years. Play some good stuff and results will follow. Yeah, that's a fair point. 18% win record at home. The Danish Gunnar was the worst manager we've had in 143 years. Yeah. It's Tudor is Tudor. It's not any. It's whatever you want it to be. It could be Tudor is to do or Tudor is Tudor. It's whatever you want it to be. There is no right way because it's not an official fucking slogan, Ashley. But you man need to do something for London this weekend. We're still relegating you when you come to the bridge. I can't wait to come to the bridge. I think the bridge is somewhere where we might actually have some luck. That schoolboy Mr. 5-star, A-star, GCSEs, Liam Rossinia. Yeah, I think we got something for him. I actually do think we got something. But let me catch up because I do actually want to go through the interview stuff and what I was really impressed with the interview in more detail. When I heard him kept comparing to teams at Arsenal, I knew he had to go. Yeah, it just didn't really make sense. He diminished our European trophy again. Madness. It's coming from the guy who never played a final, didn't win a trophy ever. Man, never won a trophy, never been in a final, but he's trying to diminish what it is to win a trophy. Anyone who thinks he's a smart manager, he's just a dumbass. Can't even see the logo. Apparently he was focusing more on opposition. That was very clear to see though, Mr. Udang. It was very clear to see in Spurs' setup that a lot of the times when someone changes their setup so much, that's because you're focusing on what the opposition does. Managers like Ange, you have to respect in some way with regards to they believe in their style is because he thinks his style is better than everyone else's style, so he's going to play you with his style. At least, whether it's shit or not, he has belief in his style. Frank don't even have a style that he believes in. So what he does is he looks at what other teams are doing and be like, all right, so to counteract their style, we're going to do this. But that's what we do to prevent them from scoring and prevent them from winning rather than set up a way on how we're going to win. It's not like, all right, so this is our style. And so what we're going to do this game, we're just going to make a few tweaks because I've noticed that Arsenal tend to shift. This is just me trying to rub his part. Let's just say this is the manager. So I've noticed Arsenal, Saka tends to shift inside a lot of the times and have Ben White do an overlap. So what we're going to do with our system, instead of inverting the fullback, we're going to have one of you stay wide and one of you are going to track that one. You're going to track that run, let's just say Jed Spence of Ben White every time he goes around rather than following Saka. And then I'm going to have Sarr in the midfield come and cover that space next to you so we can always prevent Saka from doing the invert rather than, whatever we done instead of that. You just start to do some adaptation slightly to whatever your system is currently, to maybe one or two of their best players or the little ways that you've seen them break down teams. But you don't start to change your whole plan because of it, man. But man said Kyle Walker has a yellow. What are you doing about it? What's that? Who said that? Maybe I missed something there. React one on video of Dan Campbell's speech with the Detroit Lions. I probably I'll have a look into it. Can't lie, Mourinho got that aura about him. Yeah, he does though. Mourinho really got that aura about him. But Deji is just a troll. Some of the stuff he says he doesn't even believe. Nah, man, Deji is Deji's just funny, bro. Deji's just funny. Big up to Anna Cole, who says hello there from the Welsh Valleys. Yes, I'm Welsh, and I'm a massive Spurs fan. Shout out to Anna Cole, the Spurs fan from the Welsh Valleys. That was a really, really bad accent. Don't even know why I tried that. But shout out to you, Anna. Durag, since you're in a relegation fight, would you drop the Champions League to stay up or go for the league and get relegated? I would drop the Champions League to stay up. Definitely. I think you've got to see it like, I think we was having this discussion with Terry the other day. Like, would it even be possible to play Champions League and be in the even if you got relegated and won the Champions League, I don't even think it'd be possible to play. So yeah, I'd rather stay up because staying in the Premier League is the most important thing. Champions League, we can go back and play Champions League in a couple of years regardless. We're still big after the top 5 clubs, and we have expectations based on that only. We're not saying win us the league or the UEFA Champions League. Our expectations are to progress and to finish top 5, 6, of course, not 17th. And that's where it's fairly simple. We just need to make sure that we're consistently progressing. We're staying in and around those European places. And that's where Spurs' level has been over the last 20 years. We've competed in Europe. We've managed to stay in European places majority of the times. And the last couple of years just haven't been good enough. The standards have dropped off. The level of investment has dropped off far too much. And I know people are going to say you're spending more enough. All right, so then the right level of right investment has dropped off too much. And Spurs just hasn't done enough to consistently grow. So yeah, we just need to get back to where we was for a very long time. And that wasn't just under Pochettino, it was under Harry Redknapp, it was under Andre Villas-Boas. We sacked certain managers for finishing 6th. So the fact that we were accepting a manager being halfway down the fucking table made no sense to me, especially sitting there for 5 to 6 weeks. It made no sense to me. Jords and Deji versus Hooks and Dan Potts. Yeah, I can look into that. Although Dan Potts is probably going to hook something up like that for the Let's Talk Ball show. But hey, who knows? I could look into that. 2v2 preview, lineup, squad predictions, how you think you set up tactically. Okay, yeah. I can definitely get that done. Just take points off Arsenal. We don't care who you get for the preview. Get out of here, bro. I'm trying to think about what I can do to bring some more content to you guys. And he's like, just take the points off them. Forget about your show, bruv. I hear it. Igor just needs 3 wins and a couple of draws to keep Spurs up. Yeah, it's really not that much. Like, I think if he gets, I can see him getting 4 to 5 wins, and 4 to 5 wins be enough in 12 games to keep us up. So, yeah, I definitely see it happening. Smash the likes, people. Definitely smash the likes. And then big up to my guy John James in the building. Big up Jords. Big up to you. The biggest red flag that he was. Do you know? I was gonna say let me go into this, but I'm not. It's in the time. What? Just, we can talk about that one after. Back to some more of what I liked about Igor Tudor, because there was a lot of things I liked that Igor Tudor said in that interview, because he done really well, like I said, to address the problems at Spurs. He spoke about the injuries, and he addressed the fact that he has a system, but ultimately with the squad he's got available, he's gonna have to figure out a way to see what is the best system suited to the players that he has available. Because of course he can come in, have a look at the whole 25, 26 man squad and be like, all right, with these players, I'm gonna play my way and I can use it this way in this setup and this style. But no, Spurs have about 13 senior players available right now, 13, 14 senior players. What he has to do is evaluate the level of the senior players available in the squad and say, do you know what? All right, you're best at doing this. We're going to lean on this. You're best at doing this. We're going to lean on this. So he's already acknowledged that he can't come in and expect for them to just suit his system. He has to get confidence out of these players. He said it. I need to get the confidence back into these players because they are good quality players. We just need to find the right system that works for these players in this moment in time where it is a little bit difficult, where players aren't available. And we're going to have to try and make it work. I like that he addressed that. Something that, some managers will be afraid to say, because he acknowledges, and Igor Tudor said it, like he acknowledges that he's the man that comes in at this point. When, they talk about him being like the wolf in Pulp Fiction, like you don't call Igor Tudor because he's never your first option. You're not going to call him up and be like, yo, I've got this job for you. I think you're going to be great for it. No. Call Igor Tudor when there's a fucking problem. when there's an issue and you need someone to put out the fire. And he acknowledges that. He acknowledges his role, that he's coming till the end of the season to put out that fire, and he's got the experience in doing that so previously. And the one thing, when people spoke about him, when, you know, William Troost-Ekong spoke about him, he said he makes players run through walls for him. He's going to get that belief in players. He's got the man management skills to just, you know, get that little something extra out of the players. And okay. I'm seeing Mr. Udang drop in some of the some team news, which I love to see. Richarlison is back. Porro is touch and go. Okay. So we've got a few players rolling back into the team. So a few more options to help us go into these next run of games where we've got Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Fulham, Liverpool. It's not going to be easy, but also this is what we expect. We're a club where some of these games we are expected to win. We expect to go into big games and pick up points. That is what Tottenham has been. So yeah, from right now, you know, 16th, 17th in the table, it looks like a mad tough run, but find some belief, find some confidence in these players, and it's not going to be so hard. Away from that, I'm just trying to think what other things he said, because I've addressed the fact, you know, regarding the running. I addressed the fact regarding the player's availability, the acknowledgement of his job. You know, knowing that, you know, he said it that this is not where Spurs need to be. Spurs being at this point in the table at halfway down, or I say more than I keep saying halfway, 3/4 of the way down the table is not acceptable for a club of this size. He said it. First interview, I needed him to address that because he needs to know that he's coming into a toxic fan base. He's coming into a fan base where they don't accept this. Now, he's been at clubs where fan bases are worse. You know, Tottenham ain't got shit on Marseille's fan base. Ain't got shit on Lazio's fan base. I'ma just be real. Yeah. If you guys want to feel some type of way about it, I'm a Spurs fan, but we ain't got nothing on them, man. Them hooligans. That's what I'm going to call them. Them real hooligans, bro. Them man lecture players after the games. The players go there, hands behind their back, and they listen to the Marseille fans because they know they run this town tonight. Yeah? They man run this town. These players ain't getting around nowhere comfy in Marseille, in Rome, if you don't talk to them fans properly. So he's come from fan bases where the expectation is really high, and the toxicity, however the fuck you say it, is way more than Spurs. So I think he'll be able to understand where the fans are coming from without having to do what Frank done and try to go back and forth with the fans, because he's not here ultimately he's not here to build a strong relationship with the fans. But if you can come in and have a good interim, Spurs fans are going to appreciate you and remember you for decades, because they always do. Spurs fans are like that. Let's be real. We've had, you know, interim managers before that people have fell in love with. Tim Sherwood was one of them temporarily, but I don't know what he's been going on. I don't know if people have been seeing him talk on Sky Sports, just chatting rubbish. Oh, Igor Tudor needs to win the Champions League. He needs to do this to have a successful, sounding so salty. Like, it's probably been like, ever since he left Spurs, to be fair, he went on and during his time at Spurs, we knew he was those types of people who's going to come out and say it how it is. He's never going to hold back. And, you know, to his credit, that's what's maybe got him where he is in life. But at the same time, that's why he's no longer a manager at the top level, because he says it how it is a bit too much. He talks out about clubs. Same thing what happened to Ange. You got to keep some spiders in the closet. You got to keep some spider webs in the closet. You have to. But he wants to come out and, you know, swipe it all down, keep it clean, fresh, polished. Oh, look, this is me. I done this. Distance himself from certain decisions that were made by the club. It's just not a smart move. So Tim Sherwood's done that and ultimately impacted himself long term. But Igor Tudor comes in, has a good run. You know, he'll be successful if he wins 4 or 5 games. The expectation is really low. Keep Spurs up, finish around 12th, and you've had a good second half. You've had a good tenure with Spurs, and then you can use that to go get yourself another big job. That's the way I see it. Yeah, by the way, George, different topics, but I'm backing Vinny based on last time potentially racism incident. Now, I don't think racism can be taken lightly anyway. Don't think it can. Vinny seems to be targeted a lot of the times where he goes because he's a top player. He's one of the best players, and you know his style of football can gain a reaction, which doesn't mean anything that the people are doing or saying is correct or right. And if other players, like if fans are doing it on the side, then I don't think players should be getting rattled as much as, you know, if you have hundreds of fans in the stadium throwing bananas and saying mad things and cool, walk off the pitch. I'm not here to sit here and tell anyone what they should or shouldn't do when they're being abused. So support them regardless that way. But my point in saying was if it's the fans, you can slightly ignore it because they're just outside. It's noise, is what it is. If it's another player on the pitch, man, I get hands and feet for them ones. Yeah, let's understand something. Another player on the pitch talking was about, you know, Igor this, Igor that, or something like that. Yeah. Them man get hands and feet. Them man get banged in their face. Get a stud. You get a boot up your nostril, fam. You'll get a metal stud in your nose like a nose piercing, blood. Like, I don't condone violence. But when man them talk and they say certain things, violence is the only way to deal with it. And for racism, I think violence on other players is the only way to deal with it. If I'm Vinny, I know the repercussions of a fight or something like that is huge. We saw what happened to Zidane. But ultimately, when someone disses you and you react, nobody can blame you for a reaction. My reaction, I am reacting to an action that was done upon me. So if Vinny bang man in his face straight away, I think that's when you leave. There's no, oh, he may have said this, he may have said that. I don't believe he said this. I don't, because Jose Mourinho comes out and defends the players, which, you know, you expect him to defend his players. They're probably sitting there saying it didn't happen. They're probably gonna lie. But that's why when you bang a man in his face straight away, nobody's gonna question it. You're telling me I'm hearing things now. You think I'm crazy enough to swing on? Like, nobody questioned whether the guy told Zidane to suck his mum or not because he headbutt man in the chest. Like, yo, Zidane don't be headbutting no one. So from man headbutt you in your chest, you know my man said something mad. Same with Vinny. Bang a man in his face and there isn't no question as to did he say it, did he not say it. Don't leave all of that out. And I know the repercussions might be mad, but sometimes you have to set standards so nobody feels like they can do that to you no more. Because with Vinny, it happens too often. Man, them think he's a victim, and he's not. But don't get treated like a victim, and don't be a victim during, you know, when situations pop up. Don't act like a victim. Going out and crying about things like this, not saying it is, but it could be taken that way. I think Vinny needs to do something about it. So next time someone, and you know, maybe again, I'm being unreasonable. I'm not a footballer. I don't have brand deals and stuff to protect. Cool, but if a man's racist to you, I think the only way to deal with it is violence. So bang a man in his face next time and it won't happen. Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Big up to my guy Hyper though. Big up Durag Diaries. Still a member, man. Still a member. Delinquents are still lurking. They're still around. But who do you think is a realistic manager for Spurs this summer? Big up to Iwan Sab with the questions, man. Love them. Keep bringing them through. It's probably going to be Pochettino. There's no point in me. I would sit here and want to do loads of manager watch and start to break down who the managers can be, but it's probably just going to be Pochettino. It looks very likely. Spurs are waiting until the summer for a reason. Yeah, you can evaluate the options a little bit better because after then, maybe Nagelsmann's available, maybe Tuchel's available, maybe Pochettino's available, but yeah, it looks like it's gonna be Pochettino, maybe De Zerbi. I don't know, man. I'm with you, Mr. Udang. No, I don't want Pochettino. The fact that he was at Chelsea was enough for me to really look past him anymore. Before Chelsea, I was like, I still thought he wasn't good enough anymore. But if we were to take him, I've still got the sentiment and I still had the love there. The love is gone. Bridges have been burnt. No love lost between me and Mourinho now. So I'm not Mourinho, I'm Pochettino. So if he comes in, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be against the appointment. Now, might get a little bit happy, you know them ones might come true and then be like, yo, Pochettino's back for like the moment, but away from the fact that Pochettino, the good memories that he's left with us, I just can't see it working out with this guy. I really can't see it working out. Tim Sherwood is a decent championship manager. I don't even know the last job Tim Sherwood had. I remember him being the Aston Villa manager, but he was Tottenham manager and then Aston Villa manager. But then since then, I don't remember him even being a manager. Like, of what club was he managing? He hasn't. See, he hasn't even managed a club after Aston Villa. He's been like 10 years out of the game. See, he was director of football for Swindon. Didn't even last 6 months. He's awful, man. He's awful. But yeah, 12 to 14 points to be safe is about right. It's about right. Now I just saw Vinny celebrating, but still doesn't mean that players should allegedly put his shirt over his mouth. No. I agree. I agree entirely with what you're saying. I was only talking about the fact that the players done something, and then Vinny's, yeah, I went into all of that. This board, I know we'll play it safe. They'll appoint Pochettino because, yes, that's exactly what it is. They know the fans are just going to be happy, and they want the fans to be happy despite whether Pochettino brings us long-term results or not. He's been shit for the last 4 or 5 years. He looks washed, bruv. His style of football isn't no longer in. His style of football was the thing 10 years ago. It's not no more. So I don't even, yeah, beyond me. It's beyond me. But on the Bergvall stuff, yeah, just briefly before I do end up, I couldn't believe, still flabbergasted, shocked that Lucas Bergvall was potentially on his way out last. Oh, if we had sold my boy Torfin last window because of this terrorist Frank, I would have lost my head. I would have been on Mars. I would have been fighting fucking Martians and them, man. I would have been going mental. Because how can Spurs, even, I know we rebuffed the bids, but if Spurs even considered selling this star in the making, Starboy, our player of the season last year, the man are cheeky. A1 Chelsea are cheeky to even come to us and think they can get one of our players, our young star players at that. But to think that Spurs we were probably entertaining it. I know Spurs probably said, yeah, do you know what, 30 million is not it, but if you throw 60, 70 else, we're listening. Like, that's how mad that we are and our board is. Like, numbers speak, business talks. And I get every player should have a price, but when you got a player like Bergvall, who was used incorrectly for Frank, can't wait to have Bergvall back from injury under a proper manager where he's actually going to be used in a double pivot in a number 8, because that's the place, the role where he should be playing, the position. Can't wait to see him back under a manager who knows how to use him. It's been too long, man. It's been too long. Frank, you said it before. From he said he was a similar player to Odegaard, it was like, yeah, you really don't know how to identify what a good player is. I thought he was good at coaching players. I was so wrong, man. So wrong. Like, he really was really bad at identifying players' strengths and weaknesses. And if he was this decent, he should be managing the top 5 league, yeah. They need to introduce a rule where it's a yellow for covering your mouth when you speak now, because they do that a lot of the times, because, you know, these lip sync experts start to make up things that they've said that they haven't said, that it looks like they've said, so they cover their mouth. And, you know, just like now, if you read my mouth, you might be able to think and know what I'm saying because my mouth is moving, but when I'm speaking like this, you don't really have a clue of what's coming out of my mouth. So it's just to protect what they're saying more than anything. And I hear it. You see players do it in NBA and all this stuff. Like, they all do the cover their mouth shit. It's smart, isn't it? Now we need to throw out Vinay and Lange. Yeah, they need to go. They need to go. Jords, have you seen Alice's video about Spurs and how many lies that the board have told? No, I don't really watch Alice, to be honest. Shout out to her, but yeah, don't really watch videos on Spurs because I'm a Spurs fan. So yeah. Well, Lima, I'm a Spurs fan. I'm not gonna watch a Man United fan tell me about my club. You know what I mean? Like, with all due respect, I'm not gonna listen to a Man United fan tell me about my club. Like, that's all I'm gonna say on that. Not saying she don't know, because she's very knowledgeable, very, very knowledgeable. But I don't think she's more knowledgeable on my club than me. So that's why I wouldn't watch that type of video. I'd watch another Spurs fan that's more knowledgeable than me. Is all I'm saying with that. Shout out to her though. But he'll be back in 5 to 6 weeks. Dark. That's pretty much the end of the season. Chelsea are obsessed with potential young players. Bergvall fits their clown league project. Yeah, he does fit their project, but shame it won't ever happen. Yeah, we know this, and I've seen that the Spurs are looking into this, but I doubt we will. Spurs don't move that quickly on sacking people. And you know, how could I forget but talk about the fact that Spurs have hired Heitinga 34 days ago and sacked him. So we hired someone and sacked him, a coach, within 5 weeks. So we brought him in to work under Frank, because we clearly thought Frank was going to have a long-term future at Spurs. Signed the contract. Yeah. Within 5 weeks, he got released. Johan Langer and Vinay are incompetence at the highest level. They are the definition of incompetence. They really don't have a clue of what they're doing in their jobs, and they need to both get sacked ASAP. They both need to be sacked. But yeah, look, people, I am, on that note, gonna have to head out. Got a long day, got to do some work, all of that stuff. But what I will do is probably gonna put out a video maybe later on today. Look out on the channel, might put out a video or something. But smash the likes nonetheless. We've only got 14 likes, 33 people inside, which is a bit mad. You know, not even half of you have liked it. Been here for an hour. Most of you have. Come on, like the damn video, show some love. Appreciation is very much appreciated. Trying to get back into the algorithm, yeah, because it's we've been away. So yeah, your support is much appreciated. Keep smashing the likes on your way out. Hype the video once it's done. And yeah, man, look, away from that, I'm not gonna send you guys over to no one, because you can go wherever you want with your day. It's nearly midday, so enjoy you man's day. Have a good one, and until next time, it's your boy Durag Diaries.